All
Got it.
right. Okay. All right. Give me a few minutes. Oh, but first, rock. Gently bringing your awareness back to me. You may begin whenever you are ready.
I just wanted to start by expressing gratitude for this space because, as a deep lover of music, I think I've always wanted to channel on this topic and talk about it even more with friends. I talk about it with friends a lot, but I want even more. So I'm really grateful not only to the energy we're connecting with, but also Amy for being such a big part of spurring conversation about music in our recent intuitive potluck, and Katya for voting for this topic and also being like, I mean, really, we formed our friendship at a show. So I'm just super grateful for music connecting all of us today. Um, so, like I mentioned, we had a lot of questions about music and contemplations about music on our last intuitive potluck. And I think it was Amy who wondered aloud, like, who or what in the cosmos would even be willing to talk with us about these questions? So, at the risk of coming across rude, who are you? Who are we talking with today?
You, always you. We are always a collection of you.
You'd think I'd see that coming by now. To be fair, we have channeled dolphins before, which felt a little different. So that's why I asked. But thank you for entertaining my question. Um, and another question that came up in our intuitive potluck was, why does a person feel automatically drawn to some music and less so to others? And I think Amy was doing some brainstorming on like, is it a personal frequency? Is there anything relevant with soul groups that makes some music more appealing than others? What causes that like instant connection?
It is not always the same answer, but it is largely the individual frequency of the person and the music.
Amy, I don't know if you want to ask more about that, but if you do, feel free to unmute.
Well, it made what the question that made me, I don't know why this is the question that came up as you said that is it goes in a slightly different direction, but with that frequency and like how it goes with the person, there's discussion around different frequencies, like the actual number of the frequency. And is there any real such thing as a good frequency and a bad frequency? We've seen things around certain music doing different things to cells, making it have different shapes that have been interpreted as more jagged or more smooth. And I guess I'm curious about I don't always buy into the good and bad, but I'm curious if there's more to say about frequency within that.
We would agree with you that the good and bad is an individual perspective, not one that we can tell you to have. We will say that the frequency of music can and does most certainly change your body at a cellular level and changes the harmonization of your body. And if it is a frequency that is so off from your current harmonization, that is when music does not feel good or does not connect or resonate immediately with the individual. It is like sometimes very much intentional to throw off the frequency out of harmonization with your physical body and your spiritual body. What questions arise from this?
Lexi, do you mind if I keep um the what arises for me as you were talking about that are two different directions. One is the idea of dissonance in frequency and kind of the idea that it might be intentionally throwing you off. Is somebody actually trying to do that? Does that actually work if people are all different? And is there a time that dissonance could be good to like break up something? Then I have a totally different.
Is it good? Yes, sometimes, of course. There's no such thing as one correct answer for all things. There are situations where changing the frequency is good. An example of the changing of frequency within music is, for example, Earth's frequency is 132 hertz. Music that comes through a radio is 133 to 34 hertz. This disconnects you from the frequency of the earth. The earth's frequency helps with healing. It helps with raising your vibrations. It helps with mental clarity, connection to yourself, your higher self, your connection to plants, your connection to telepathy. And the list goes on and on. And do you see why mega radio stations would want to disconnect you from all of that?
I can think of a few reasons. Um, I don't know if like just the idea of like kind of keeping you in a different space that is either longing for something else or is searching for something else less connected to ourselves.
Yes, it is keeping you in their system, keeping you sicker, controlled, and consuming.
I'm just
So
gonna poke at what you said, Amy, but does it work? Like what is the how do the scales of justice work, so to speak, when we happen to turn on the radio? Sometimes it's a song we love and resonate with, other times it doesn't, or it's a song that's seeking to control us or keep us out of that earth frequency. And yet we also have practices like breath work and meditation, et cetera, that help us stay connected or raise our vibration. So can you say more about like how effective to ineffective that method is?
When the masses were what you would consider asleep, it was very effective. But collectively, as you are waking up, it is getting less and less effective, which is why you see more and more chaos in the world. However, we believe in this group. You specifically do not see the more and more chaos because you are grounded in the reality which you wish to experience. But back to the question, currently not as effective. Most people have found music in different frequencies and vibrations in mass quantities, things like sound baths and sound healing, and a general disconnection from mainstream everything, mainstream media, mainstream radio, and all the things that lower vibrations.
I'm so curious and probably stuck in a little bit literal. Like when you talk about the resonance of radio being at 133 or 134, then you have whatever the resonance of the song is. So there's does the, I guess I might be getting a little literal in my head of like, there's this resonance that's happening from a song, and then there's the method with which you are listening to it. So how that connects is a question that leads me to the idea of how people find where they listen to music. Um, if you were listening to something on vinyl, if you're listening to something on through a streaming service, if you're listening on CD, there's the frequency with which it was recorded and then the format with which you're listening to it. And maybe some of this just doesn't matter, but I'm curious if some of that plays a part.
Yes, some of that does play a part. Vinyl and streaming services are two ways where you can get generally authentic frequencies that aren't as altered. But more importantly than that is the words that you are consuming within the music. If there are words with the music, words also carry a vibration that affect your physical body and your reality, especially if you are singing those words, because you are then speaking them into your reality and into your existence. So, are you speaking words of what you wish to see or words of which you wish to not see or experience?
That has been a wondering of mine for a long time, which uh, I won't lie is a bit of a challenge for me because I also feel like it goes through the range of human emotions often. Um,
Yes, but we will say that you are always in complete control of your reality, even if you are singing a song that sings about potentially shooting somebody or experiences that you do not wish to experience. You can consume music and sing it with the understanding that it is somebody telling their own story, somebody expressing their own expressions, their own art, and not letting it override your feelings and emotions and take over you to let the song become you or you become the song. So that is not saying don't listen to music or read stories that have a reality which you do not wish to experience. Simply consume it with the understanding that it is somebody else's reality that has been experienced or somebody else's story that is being told. And you are simply consuming the information.
that was helpful.
It sounds like music mindfulness, which I really like. I wanted to come back to Amy, what you brought up around dissonance, and this may not have been exactly what you said, but there was something about, is dissonance always bad? Can it sometimes be useful or productive? Um, and what came to mind is when I went to the chiropractor yesterday, they used this sound wave machine on me, and I know that sound waves are also being used to break up kidney stones. They're being used in, I think, liver cancer treatment. And so those might be more technical examples, but it seems like there are instances where dissonant sounds or disharmonious frequencies can actually be of benefit. Is that, would you agree with that, or is there anything that I'm misconstruing there?
And we would fully agree. You could
Okay.
also see ways that sound frequencies are jumbling people's minds and hurting their body. There is always two sides to a coin. There's always a way to use things for good, like atomic energy, or use them for bad. You could use it to power things, or you could use it to blow people up. There's always opportunity for good and bad, and that resides within the character of the individual and what they are creating with it.
And similarly, like I assume the answer would be mostly yes here, but if that's true on a physical level, like disharmony can be useful in breaking up kidney stones, would the metaphor stand that sometimes listening to angry or sad music can help us like open our hearts or process a tricky emotion or connect with an experience that we might not otherwise understand, even if it was a quote unquote negative one?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I sure do love a good paradox. We're swimming right in it. Um, Before we leave the sound waves treatment thing, is there anything you can tell us about what humans or like science might better understand about frequency and sound waves as health treatments in, let's say, the span of the next 5, 10 years?
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like we've found that sound waves are useful for treating these forms of health conditions. Is there anything else that humans will uncover or reclaim about sound waves' abilities to support our health? Like any upcoming discoveries we can look forward to?
Mm, the irony in this question is that all is already known. You are simply asking if it will come to light.
Yes.
There is always somebody who has already discovered the power of sound. And if you look in the right places, you will find it. Will it become national news? No, it will not. But you may find yourself in communities that have more of these types of conversations around the power of Amy's prior examples around song and the healing ability for a collective song to be sung. And the list could go on and on. The power of hearing water run, the power of the words you speak. There are so many examples already alive. Sound bowls, different forms of instruments. They all do something different for your physical body and the earth.
Woo, 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 woo.
I'm
Amy.
literally crying and I have chills over my entire body. I am like that concept of a collective song makes me so happy that I just start crying. Um, Phew. I have a very specific question that relates to myself, but relates to this, which is a wondering around that, which is as I was thinking about this call, I am someone who has arrhythmia issues with my heart. So I have something called AFib, and it's usually tied to my thyroid, but it has just recently reared its head in a different way. And I've been thinking about just like the electromagnetic part of your our hearts and the physiology of that. And AFib is on the rise in the population. It is something that is happening more and more. And it's got me very curious about how sound might be part of that, and if there was any specific, you just spoke about like corners or people to talk to. Could you direct me into a like where I can follow some breadcrumbs around this kind of, I don't know, they seem just intricately tied to me. And yes, there's medication, which is really amazing in acute situations, but I would love to, is there a heart healing that we need around our electromagnetic beatings?
Yes, however, it is not as much with sound as it is physical consumption,
Mm.
an imbalanced diet that is so widespread and so ingrained in humanity that health is beginning to be hard to find. We would recommend each individual where you live, you eat with your own seasons from nature. And if you are in a season where something doesn't grow, then you consume what would be available in nature, such as eggs and meat. And you follow your season's food to keep your body in harmonization with where you live and away from the poisons that are wrecking your gut systems that impact the entirety of your body. And if you wanted something easier, we would simply say eliminate processed sugars and carbonation. And that would be a good start.
I just want to add my 2 cents because everybody here knows I can't help but do that sometimes. Amy, what you said though about sound really resonated with me. And while I don't have people to point you to, I would encourage you to follow that thread because it just something landed for me. And if nothing else, if you want to talk with me about it and see the latest papers that probably neither of us will be able to pronounce the words in about the kidney stones and the liver cancer stuff, like I'm your girl. Like at very least, I can co-partner with you in being curious, even if we're not cardiologists.
Perfect.
And this
Um,
is a perfect example of the importance of communication and community. This is how information crosses boundaries and expands your human experience.
Amy, I got the cry bug. Oh, I was gonna say, oh no, but oh yes. Um, Amy, I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears a little bit and talk about some other aspects of music, but please know that this portion of it really spoke to me as well. Uh, so this came up in our potluck as well, and then Amy, you got the goosebumps while we were on this call. There's this experience that humans have. The technical term is frisson, and it's this somatic bodily response to encountering music that really speaks to us. It can happen with other works of art and even spoken word, like speeches can move us in this way. And while we were in the intuitive potluck, we were kind of like, I just think some of us, like people that are in this community, feel music more deeply. And I was like, yeah, yeah, that feels true. And then I realized that that goosebump feeling, that's a universal response. We don't necessarily all have it to the same songs, but it's a universal human response. And so I'm just curious, as we're encountering another paradox, like, is there anything you can share with us about whether some humans do respond to music more deeply, or if that's just a limitation of like, I'm in an individual body and I can never really know 100% what Katya experiences or what Amy experiences? What are your thoughts on that?
There are many nuances to this question. Some people do resonate with music more than others. They may find the frequency of other expressions to be more resonant, like poetry or sometimes art or different aspects of nature, and the list goes on, because you are all in individualized experiences and you all do have your own connections and expressions, especially physical expressions, and where you are in your harmonization and how things, different frequencies can affect your body. Some people are in such a state of disarray that they don't have any of those feelings because they are so constantly focused on the pain and misery that they are in. Each person's experience is different.
That resonates, and I have a feeling at some point I'll come back with more questions. Um, we've been talking about the human experience of music and art and creativity. Do other beings appreciate music? And I want to name that I'm asking both earthly beings as well as cosmic beings.
Yes, sound is a universal impact. The universe itself is a form of a sound. All things, all frequencies are a form of a sound, a vibration, like what Amy was saying earlier with you can see what different sounds do to shapes of water or sand, the physical alteration that sounds have on things. It is what makes up your physical world, but also impacts non-physical worlds.
Think I knew that, but I couldn't help but ask. Oh, this is an off the cuff question. My understanding is that the space program, either NASA or an international team of folks, shot a package out into space, and it included a golden record that had select music placed on it. I know the Beatles were on there, I forget what else. Did anyone ever receive that transmission from planet Earth?
Any being that desires to access that can. It is hard for us to find words for, but all planets that desire to be, or beings that desire to be aware of it, can simply get there within a thought. Look at it, explore it, listen to it, and then get back to their own realities. So, yes, many have received it.
So you're pointing in the direction of we sent a physical object into space, but there are beings that can access that information almost telepathically, and that's the more prominent way that that transmission has been received by other beings. Is that right?
Correct.
That is cool. I feel like I'm just like really excited about this one, so my brain's going a little bit blank in a fun way. Um, Katya, I don't know if you have questions, but since you haven't asked anything, I just want to invite you.
Yeah. While I'm here, might as well. I do have a question. So I wonder if it's my perception or if it's actually true. Uh, my perception is that, and I've said it multiple times throughout my lifetime, is that the best music comes from the UK. So there are specific locations like UK or Iceland that like accumulate so much talent and people create such a beautiful music that lasts, ages and centuries. So is that true actually? Is that our planet specifically, or any places in the universe, are more musically inclined than others?
First, we will say that your perspective is always true for you, and there can never be somebody who tells you otherwise.
Fair.
So, in your instance, yes, for you, you are absolutely correct. We cannot say that everybody's perception is the same as yours. And so, is it a blanketed true or false? That cannot be. But for you, 100%
Fair.
absolute certainty true.
Fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the only question that I had so far. I didn't come up with any, but I'll ask more if something comes up. Thank you.
I just wanted to poke at that a little bit.
Okay, book me.
No, not you. Like I'm like interested and like to your point, higher selves collective, everything resonates for different people. But I was curious when I think of the UK, I also think of places like Glastonbury and Stonehenge. And is there anything to be said about locations that have vortexes or have been used as sacred sites, perhaps being a more prominent portal for being a receptive channel to creativity? And as I say that, I just want to be clear, I'm not suggesting that someone who doesn't live in one of those places cannot be a channel for creativity. It's just like, is it maybe a little easier? Is the connection a little bit more fluid if you're near one of those ley line or grid areas?
Just as you explained it, we would say the exact same thing. Creativity is not confined by location. However, sometimes when you are in places that are less busy and you can clear your mind easier, which is typically where these ley lines are, creativity does flow with more ease.
Mm.
Hooray. I realized the question that I was trying to grab out of the ether is about the golden record. Were there any star beings that maybe appreciated that compilation of music than others? Like, are there star families that groove more to those sounds and those selections than perhaps other star beings?
Yes, of course. Much like humans, their experiences are individuated while still having more sense of unity and oneness. Any being with a physical body or a separation of any sort still experiences things individually. And so, yes, some may like a music selection better than others.
Who likes Bowie the most? I'm kidding.
It is a widespread answer.
I mean, Bowie is an alien himself. I think he's in the right place.
So good. Sorry, Katya, I realized I zigzagged back. Did you have more
No, no
questions
worries. No,
about?
no,
Okay.
no, no. I don't have any like specific question or
Okay.
problem to resolve here. I'm more like here for giggles and curiosity.
Okay. Awesome. I think we're doing that pretty well. Amy, jump on in.
Okay.
Well, kind of piggybacking on something you said, but I don't know exactly where it was. I am going a slightly different direction. I'm curious about actually the things that we can do that tap into that. I think Alexis brought this up at one point of just the idea of the muses. Are there particular kind of muses in this area? And you mentioned the idea of collective song. And I have these thoughts around we're in a time that maybe those are coming. There's a possibility of them. I think they've always existed, but do we need them even more? And I feel like we need all kinds of different songs. And how do we tap into what that collective song is? And how do we personally tap into that creative vein. Um, just regular recommendations of being able to hear that voice. And yeah, there might be more. Alexis, you might be able to help me with that, but we'll start there.
We will do our best to answer all the questions, but feel free to steer us in a direction which you would like to go. We will start with how do you tap into the creativity within you? We recommend finding ways to quiet the overthinking of your mind, a few deep breaths, breath work, and set yourself in a setting where you can express, and sometimes you cannot. So things like a phone where you can type or record when ideas come to you. It is not always the same for every person. Inspiration comes in many different ways to everybody, but you always know when you have inspiration. The idea of, oh, I want to try that. I wonder what that would look like together. I wonder what that sounds like with this other thing. And it is always unique to the specific person. But if you are in a place where you are setting time to create, how can you tap into that creativity? Find a way to quiet your mind and set the intention to create. And it might not be the exact thing that you set out to create in the first place. Perhaps you set out to create a song and you ended up doodling many pictures. That is still tapping into your creative flow. But just allowing yourself the intention and whatever comes out to be without the idea that it has to be perfect or so structured that you limit the creativity. Which direction would you like to go in next?
I'm interested in the collective song to learn more about that.
This is also not something that has to be one specific song, and more around the messages, around love, around faith, around taking control, because each individual does have their own resonance system. The collective song is around one of love and unity and peace over power. And there are many versions of those songs already around. And the more you play one that you love, you will play it with your friends, and then they will play it with their friends, and so on and so forth. And then your resonance, the people that fall into that circle or that frequency, will be playing that. And then it will inspire somebody that may have a different frequency and a different version of that song that then caters to another frequency of people. But then there is also another side to that where something like a group prayer or a group meditation and the way that that impacts things, group song is very similar. If everybody chooses the same high vibrational song to sing together at the same time, you directly impact the earth and all those beings on the earth.
Thank you. There are many people in the world looking to do this in various ways, in solidarity and love and in resistance of some of the other things that are happening. So it feels like something that I know is true, and I love the validation of it as well.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that Tony Robbins, popular personal growth leader, partnered with a few musicians to co-write a song with nominations of lyrics from other people with the intention of like, I mean, Tony wouldn't put it this way, but like spreading good vibes, like just doing something creative and helpful. And I was also thinking of that song I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, which I know they ended up turning into a Coke commercial, which is like, I don't know, like commercialization of love, who knows? I think that's for everybody up to make their own mind about, but I there's that recent modern example, and I know that there's historical examples going back like thousands and thousands of years of this being a practice to lift people up and foster hope and love. And so I'm very, very excited about it, and now feeling the nudge to follow up with my little choir about whether we're going to be doing that soon. So that sounds really fun. Um,
We have time for one more question, and then we must let you all continue on with your human existence.
okay. Amy, did you have a follow-up, or I'm bringing us home?
I think Katya may did, but I don't.
Oh, go
I
for it.
I just came up with a question as we were talking. So I think I know the answer, but I'm just gonna confirm. So historically, we've been, creating music using like analog instruments like guitars, pianos, violins, and now over the past, couple of decades at least, there's a new music. There's electronic music, which has nothing to do with strings and keys and all of that. So, is there any difference in terms of the frequency that each kind of music is producing?
Yes, there still is, and electronic music can still hone the different frequencies through the electronic measures. They can harmonize any song into any frequency. In a sense, you could put one song in every different frequency to cater to every person.
Got it. That's all I
We
have.
thank you for your time today, and we look forward to speaking with you all again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Welcome back, Kylie.
Thank you. Oof. Bring her back down. Give me
I
a second.
know. You're fine. You're
Take
good.
your
Take your
time.
time. We were crying. We were crying during the call. So if you've got
Mm.
tears today, you've got friends.
I actually don't really have very many tears. My eyes were just like felt
Ah,
glued together, which is good.
cool. Welcome back.
Thank you.
That was so good.
It's
Yay.
so
Give me
much
the key
fun.
takeaways. What were the highlights?
Oh my gosh, so many.
Universal goosebump.
What, say it again?
Universal goosebump.
Oh, universe goosebump. Yes.
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway for me is just like, which keeps happening whenever I talk about it, which just knows that lives in my body that way, is that music is actually that powerful, that is actually spells the idea of this collective song. And even I think it was really like the idea of listening to the water run. Like what is a song
Mm,
is a different thing. And I don't know, I think it always amazes me how excite for me personally, and I think everyone in this room, but like it just makes me so excited for possibility.
hmm.
That yeah, it's like all that's good in this world. Like it's like it just like make it gives me all of that kind of energy, and it was fun to talk about it in this way. And a few surprising things. I was surprised that there wasn't more sound potentially for the heart, that was more about food.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that those are some of mine.
Yeah, music is
Yes.
medicine.
I agree. I agree. And I'm sure that there was like more that could have been dug in with the sound and the heart. But yeah,
Yeah.
food and body is obviously always hand in glove.
Carbonation, by the way. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that alone. They're just gonna say that, drop that there and be like, oh shit. Okay.
All right. I know. Yeah, that information totally resonates for me with like food impact. I mean, Lexi, I have a really big passion for food and food from nature, but so I was like, yeah, eating that up.
Sorry, my brain went in 12 different directions. Um, a key highlight for me though was asking about the golden record that we sent out into space because I've wondered
Mhm.
about that and just was like, when am I ever going to ask that question, you know? So that was really cool, and I'm glad. Was it Katya who said that Bowie's on that
I
record?
feel like
Yeah,
I've heard about this golden record as well. So
yeah,
I feel like Bowie was there. I,
yeah,
I mean, Beatles make sense to me, but Bowie makes sense to me
yeah,
as well. So
yeah. That was really cool,
gotta check
and
it out though. Now I'm curious.
yeah, feel free to go down that rabbit hole. It's a fun one.
For sure.
Oh my gosh, it's funny that you say that. I learned about that from a kids movie, a movie that I watched with my kids, like a cartoon. Um, and I thought it was just a cartoon. Like I didn't know that it was a real thing until I don't remember how I learned it was a real thing, but something later. Like, oh, that really happened. I had
Well,
no
hey
idea.
man, what is real anyway, you know?
True. Oh my gosh, it was an alien movie too. Yeah, funny. I never got through it because I always fell asleep. But it's new. It's a new movie.
I
I was
found the
also
track
gonna
list.
go ahead, Katya. I'm sorry.
I found the track list for the golden
Ooh.
record. It's on Wikipedia.
Oh,
Ooh,
It's called Voyager Golden Record.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Uh-huh. Classic music. Chuck Berry, Mozart. Mostly
oh,
classical music, actually. Huh.
I think we were
But
trying to put our best foot forward.
it was sent in 77,
Okay,
mm,
1977.
okay. I
that
think
makes
there
sense
also
then.
might have been something about like maybe because orchestrations are more mathematical, there might have been a like the
Hmm.
ETs will understand it better than if we're using words. I don't know.
Great.
Yes, I would agree with you. Yeah. Like, what
But
if
if
they
they're
don't
accessing
understand
it
our language?
telepathically, they'll get it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever sent it out didn't know that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the way I see music and describe it is it's a universal language that everybody can understand. So whether
Mhm.
there are lyrics or not, people can understand the frequency, the music, the sound,
A hundred
and
percent.
relate to emotions. So whether it's just Mozart or I don't know Skrillex in the next iteration, somebody will understand that.
Oh, that makes me think of we haven't listened to it in a while. My kids love to listen to Russian music. I know. I
Say more.
know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you any of the songs or what they're about, but they love to listen to Russian music. There's like specifically these girls, but it's like good boppy music. They'll get on like the Russian station on Pandora and listen to different
No idea. I'm like
types.
I'm intentionally not following any Russian accent artists because that's my contribution to society.
And that is perfectly okay.
That's perfectly okay. Yeah. But I'm curious now what your kids are listening to.
Yeah, that
What are
sounds
the
like
kids
another
listening
rabbit
to?
hole.
I know. I don't know if there's like I don't know if maybe they saw a YouTube that played one of the songs or what the heck was that stupid movie? There's a movie that I don't know if maybe they heard it from the movie because it was around the time when the movie was really popular. Uh it's like an anime movie. I don't remember what it's called.
Hmm.
I'm guessing that y'all don't have kids watching anime movies running around. Yeah, don't know, something like that. I'm sure they got it from like YouTube or a movie or something. But yeah, I know it cracks me up. I love telling people like, oh yeah, my kid's favorite song is whatever it was called back then.
Hmm.
Russian rap music. Kind of makes me think of that.
French rap music is also interesting.
Oh my gosh, that could be so funny. Anything that uses like words that we're not used to or,
Yeah.
like language that we don't speak, it cracks me up.
Stromae.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
not rap, but
he's so good.
I know. can feel everything even though I don't really understand the words. I get maybe
Autumn
like,
bones.
yeah.
Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Beep, beep, boop,
Beep, beep, boop, boop.
boop.
Amazing.
I was
Well,
also going to say,
ladies.
Amy, I was surprised about the heart music connection, EMF, whatever thing, but I loved hearing about the power of community and encouraging each other. And that really moved me. So, yeah, those were my two highlights that I wanted to share.
Yay. Thank you guys for sharing with me.
Yeah, there is this
Yeah,
book
that's
that I
great.
have. It's called Musicophilia. It's all about like why some people like music more than others, and it's all this like explained on the neurological
Yeah, there's another
level.
Mm.
book like The Sound of Music or something like that. I haven't read that one.
Yeah, it's
So
great. It's like if you really want to understand like how music impacts the brain and why certain people, just like wake up and like I hear the song today. That's what's going on. So yeah,
really,
it's a good book.
Oh,
It's a good read.
interesting. What is it called?
Musicophilia or
Musicophilia.
musicphilia, something like that. It's somewhere on my bookshelf right there.
What
That's
I
funny.
will
Let me
do
let me
is
find it really quick.
I will put something up on Patreon as well. Like there was a
yeah,
song that came up in Intuitive Potluck. Like I think we just need a place to like put our nominations for like
Oh,
just based on conversations around music and creativity lately. Like these are the things that I'm jamming on so that other people can cross-pollinate.
oh,
oh,
music.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Very interesting cover. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the book.
Yeah, I'm totally into that, Katya.
I recommend
I'll like wake up in the middle of the night with a song in my head.
all the time, all the
Same.
time.
Yes.
It was the
Okay.
craziest thing to me when I found out that doesn't happen to everybody.
Oh, it's funny that we all right here say that that happens to us all the time, though.
All the
That's
time,
cool.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay, I need
Huh.
to jump. I'm so
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
me
too.
too.
Thank you. Always lovely to see you.
Good to see you
Love
all. Lexi, I'm going to send you the
Love you
you.
concert
guys.
information. I'll
Yes.
see you all
Bye,
Okay.
later.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.